This is not the video that I wanted to make, but hopefully you tuned into the last update, which was titled, "Is this bounce good enough to end this correction?" And unfortunately, my worries were that it was not going to reclaim the levels it needed to. Let me go ahead and place those fibs. So we can see this was our correction. Place the fibs on it as we got a nice move up into the most key level of resistance. And even if it had broken through, there's more up ahead. And what I was saying in the chat, in the video, regardless of the hate, I was saying, look, I'm just a messenger, don't shoot me. All I'm seeing is that we've had a big dump. In order to get out of it, you need to break the golden pocket, which includes all these red boxes, all three of them. We can see the very first day of capitulation day, it recovered and bounced, but it failed to actually, after reclaiming a few levels, didn't manage to continue that trend, didn't manage to push through the EMAs. So we didn't see any structure change over here. Because of that, we rolled over. Because this is just a corrective bounce. I was saying all these wicks should actually get filled, guys. So that's the risk right now. We're going to bleed to fill in the wick. This is the 100 EMA. So from here, we have an opportunity to break out bullish. But if you remember, all the way up here at 106k, I've been telling my Discord community that we were going to tap into 90 and 93k. That is what happened in the end. So everyone in there has been well up to date with that. If you want to join, use the links down below. I did also mention it on my YouTube, of course. And my fears being that this is the key level of resistance. We've tapped into it many times as resistance, gotten dumps from that. This was the big signal for me, this first dump, because on the Bitcoin chart it looks fine, but altcoins were getting decimated. And on that bounce, I had a different fib at the time because that was our low, our local low given at the time. None of that had developed, so this is what the chart looked like. And if you remember my Bitcoin updates, I was giving the levels of $106 to $108,000. Now it's developed more. We got a new low. It's changed to 105 and 107. We can still use those old levels here. It's the 786 and 886, which I'm looking at. And pretty much Bitcoin just ran into that area. Didn't even manage to actually close above 105. And then we saw what happened in the end, rolled over, pretty much following my prediction. And of course, I know many of you are appreciative, but the ones that did comment were in denial of the possibility of rolling over. And I'm seeing that continuing all over Twitter, even denial in the Discord community, that when you get a big wick, it just makes sense to fill it because we've bounced too hard and aggressive. And with that really aggressive bounce, it saw some other altcoins bounce really hard, and that gave me even more confidence that I was correct. Take a look at this coin, an AI agent, which bounced very aggressively from the low. And all the people that talk about it on Twitter have been reaping the benefits had they bought down here. From the highs, it's still down 70%. But off of the lows, guys, it pumped 600% almost in a 3-day period. If that's not clear enough to you, then you need to get learning again, because that is doing the opposite of what it should. It's correcting violently to the upside. It's saying that we are in a downtrend pretty much by pumping so fast and violent for it to get knocked back down, because it pumped almost 600%. Look to the left a little bit. Here it pumped 400% in a 3-day period. Here it pumped almost 600% in a 3-day period. So it just pumped up too violently. And this move here, if we go back to Bitcoin, that was the move over here, which I was warning everyone of, saying all the way down here after bouncing at around 100 and 101k when I made that video, because of that dump, it creates these new golden pockets of resistance We are bearish. It's a retracement tool. So basically it's saying where it should pull back up into and then reverse from where it's telling us it should reverse. So the golden pocket is saying this should be its top. From here, it should reverse and continue lower. Since the initial move we're measuring is a move down, this being a retracement tool, I'm placing the fibs on a completed move. It's retracing, it's going back on itself. 61.8, 65% of this move. It's retraced 65% of this move, almost 78.6% of this move down. Once it's completed the retracement, which could have been as deep as 108k, it still continues lower. This is why nothing's a surprise for me. This is why I've been constantly sharing in my Discord community what I've personally been doing with this. We've been positioning for this since 106k. So if you want more details, use the links down below. Otherwise, please stay up to date with all my updates on YouTube and Twitter. It's going to be very important going forward because this can also quickly change. Even if Bitcoin changes and starts going up, it doesn't necessarily mean, it's really annoying, guys, because this market is so different to before. Even if Bitcoin goes up, it doesn't necessarily change the fact that the coins that have been bad since August, since summer, the lows, 49,000 US dollars on Bitcoin, when Bitcoin started that run from 49k to 110k, many coins did not react from the lows, or at least when we topped out over here and been in this correction, they're back at those summer lows. Some are even lower than that. So those sorts of coins that are lower than their summer lows due to this sideways period, the trend is going to continue. The pump won't be good enough for them to make higher highs. It'll still be lower highs. I really do believe there are going to be many coins out there that just keep bleeding to zero. I don't know which ones exactly, but at least I can say the ones that have been doing bad since summer, the ones that are underneath their summer lows. What coins have been doing absolutely exceptional. They're well positioned for this potential dump. They're better positioned for this potential dump. Doesn't mean they won't dump. They just pump more. So yeah, taking back gains rather than no gains and then just minus. So if Bitcoin turns around, there will be many coins that will bounce. And I've made some Bitcoin updates and YouTube updates saying which. I think it's Bitcoin, of course. You can argue ETH because they're forcing it to do well. Trump's family, they want, they keep, as you saw, Eric Trump said, buy ETH. But I'm more worried about that, saying buy it. If someone's telling you to buy something, especially someone that big, of course, we're in the most bullish period fundamentally in existence of crypto. But we've just continued dumping since Trump's come in. And that's actually mainly his fault for the Trump token, because so many people exited all their tokens to chase the pump. So then Bitcoin, Solana, and Trump were the only coins that really didn't capitulate. So that's why I've got a bag of Solana. But I'll make an update on Solana. But even that, it's in a scary situation. Even the great coins, like the ones that have done incredibly since November, XRP, that's all targets done. H-bar, it's come into very key areas of resistance. Is that a double top? That looks to me like it's about to start free falling. So we just really need to be careful. And it's all dependent on Bitcoin. Look, Bitcoin bounces, H-bar reclaims this. It's totally fine. Those coins are coins that have just constantly gone to new lows, to new lows, to new lows. Under their summer lows, I think if Bitcoin even makes a new all-time high at the next top, it'll roll over. I don't think those coins that are at new lows, the bounce will be strong enough. It might just tap into previous support as resistance. And then Bitcoin might dump here, but those altcoins at new lows, they'll just go to even further newer lows. So the strong coins will continue to be strong, even if there is a scary dip. But of course, the ones that have been weak throughout, they can bounce. I just think that they won't be strong enough to sustain, and then they will eventually head lower. So sorry this update's been a bit longer, but a lot to talk about. I will play some fibs, further fibs, just to show you some potential targets to the downside and some supports which we could catch to avoid those targets to the downside. So while we are above, you've already seen this green level, 95k, 96k. You can see I've measured this that capitulation day which ended up in a pump on Bitcoin, we've got some key levels above this green box. So 95k, as you can see, 95, 96k, also acting with confluence, measuring the move up from 89 to 109. So that's also got some key level of supports in 95, 96k. If this is lost, well, they're actually preparing us the targets for us anyways. So you can see down over here, I just, without any drawings, just looking at moving averages, losing this one, you're heading to the next, losing this one to the next, losing this one to the next, losing this one to the next. So that's around 83k. It won't be a straight line. Each day that passes, this moves. When we entered this back in end of November, you can't even see where the white line was. And as it consolidates, it climbs up. So all we need to do is kiss it. Don't even need to actually tap it. If we can hold that and reclaim the moving averages, all of them, we're good. We can bounce from here and reclaim 100k, 102k, 106k, 108. If you do that from here, we don't need to go lower. That will be fine. But a Bitcoin will eventually top out maybe at a new high. And I think those coins that are at new lows, the bounce won't be good enough for them. And they'll still eventually roll over to newer lows. For some, and then others will be totally fine. Like if this starts bouncing at those charts I just showed, like on XRP, Solana, and HBAR, they will bounce and they'll be totally fine. But at the moment, can you deny that it how can you deny that it looks like we've lost support, at least where all the bodies were closing? Oh, sorry, I didn't have any drawings on, but yeah, look at this new box I've just drawn. All the closes were here. We've lost that, we've lost this with the close as well. I mean, you are holding the wicks with that last close. But yeah, if you want this to actually continue higher, it needs to reclaim this green box. Technically, it should be red now. So I will actually do that. But this is not a HBAR update. I'm just trying to show you the market, trying to show further proof of the points. Yeah, also there's a divergence. You've got the lower highs here, you got the higher highs here. So we can see that's a double top. Usually the pattern's valid on the break of the lowest bodies, and that's what it's just done in the past few days. And now losing the 100 EMA. What happened when you did that last time? You tapped into 200 EMA. That's what I'm trying to show you on the Bitcoin chart. So I've been saying we're going to fill in the wicks. What's that going to do then on this chart? Probably come down to the 200 EMA. The issue is with the pump back up, because you've now got such a big dump. It's all resistance to create lower highs, to send you even lower. I don't want it to happen, but why should I not share this with you? I'm not here to get hate. I'm not here to only say the opposite and trying to be different. I'm invested, not in HBAR, but I'm invested in other large caps like Solana and Sui, and it's all similar. It's all similar. Let me even show you the Sui chart. Many similarities with historical dumps. Many similarities with the March top. That's not good. Do I want that to happen? No. I want it to go up from here. But I'm going to do TA that there's validity too. The probabilities are high for. If the leader, Bitcoin, does not recover those key levels. So yeah, it's all on Bitcoin to sort this out. Again, not the video I wanted to bring out today, but that's just how it is. We can sort this out for sure for those good performing coins throughout the past few months, since the August bottom, since November. The coins that have been doing well so far will continue. The ones at new lows under August, the pump won't be good enough, because Bitcoin will pump, it will top out correct, those coins will go down violently. So what do we need to see? This is a possible reversal point. Need to reclaim all those levels: 100, 102, 106, 108. We could come down to here, but then now it needs to reclaim 95, 100, 102, 106, 108. I know it says 105, 107. I'm just using those older levels because they're also still valid. And if 108k is a level of resistance higher than this, I don't want to miss that in case it goes slightly above this, taps into 108 and starts dumping. So just keep that in mind, even though the fib is not showing 108. So we could bleed down into here, hold the 100, pump back up. The thing is, all of the longs here are leveraged. So they've all got liquidations underneath. That's why when we actually swept the low, it bounced so violently. And then there was more leverage propping this up. So then we dumped back down. This is how these crazy wicks are created. Leverage. What happened here? What happened on that other coin I showed you? Pumped 600% in 3 days. That doesn't make sense, guys. That's not a good thing. And then everyone on Twitter saying, oh, best off the bottom. If you bought the bottom, that is one of the best plays you could have done on that coin because it pumped 600% from the bottom. Obviously, that's incredible. But you have to click sell on it. It's still down 70% from where it was less than a month ago, and it pumped 600% and it's still down 70 and from where it was a month ago. Just deep that. That's more scary to me than, oh yeah, it pumped 600% from the bottom. The fact that it needs to do that and it's still down 70%, that's scary. And that dump minus 90% happened in a month on AI agents. And I got out on that first bounce that was 400%, but it's still down from the high, like 50. So yeah, the attention keeps shifting. Coins die because of it. Every single new coin that comes out, new narrative, new shiny thing that comes out, it's PvPing. It's fighting against what's already there. And many people don't have more money to put in. So they're only going to keep rotating. That's the death of many coins, regardless of if they're scams that are dying or real businesses. Doesn't matter. The chart matters. Doesn't matter if it's changing the world. The chart matters. So yeah, a lot to think about in this period. There's not much more for me to say other than if we lose to liquidate these longs, because this is propped up by leverage, then we can see the next levels. As I said earlier, of the EMAs, it just makes sense for it to be the 200 EMA next. That's holding the daily macro trend. Losing that means we're now in a macro downtrend. We can't lose it. That's now at 83.6k. Every day that passes, and it won't be a straight line down in one day. The longer it takes, the better. If we can get some bounces that eventually fail, that's better, because then it gives it even more time to drag up, and then it can start climbing above this level, meaning that maybe that's the deepest it goes. We really don't want the 200 EMA lost. I would like for it to cross above 85, 86, 87, get into around 88. So basically, we just come down to this low, we sweep it, and then recover. If we're to lose all this support, that's our most positive case. But when you're down there, you've dumped so much, there's a brick wall of resistance here trying to send you to even lower. That's not a good thing. Bitcoin is the only one that can negate this, that can stop this from happening, that can change it all. But that still doesn't mean all coins are safe, in my opinion. If you go on CoinMarketCap, there's over 10 million coins accounted for on CoinMarketCap. I remember when there was less than 20,000, when there was less than 10,000 coins in the last cycle. So in 4 or 5 years, millions and millions and millions have been made, and there's probably more made per day than there was back then in the last cycle. So how can they all keep going up? Impossible. So it makes sense that, and this is unfortunately what we've been seeing, there have been coins that have just kept bleeding. Even off of the August and November pumps, they've been retraced. Some of them are at new lows. I think those coins are toast. We'll see as it develops. Obviously, the next pump, even if it is from exactly here to new highs, it will top out at some point and correct. On Bitcoin, it'll be fine. On Solana, on Sui, on XRP and HBAR, it will all be fine. But on those coins that have continued to do bad since summer, since the December dip, all the way through now at new lows. The pump will, on those coins that have, let's say, created this base, and then eventually lost it. Let's say there's some coins over here right now, there's some coins over here right now. Even if we bounce, there's a move down that's now been completed. There's going to be a massive brick wall. They're going to bounce. Bitcoin's going to go to new highs. Bitcoin correct. They won't be higher than where they were. And then they'll eventually bleed lower. Once Bitcoin creates another higher low, they'll go to lower lows. And then Bitcoin will go up again. And the same thing will happen. And then new lower lows pretty much. So yeah, that's the risk with a lot of these coins. Do I want that to happen? No, I don't want anyone losing money. We just want this chart to go up, but can't ignore what's in front of us. It's all common sense. Play what you see, not what you want. And those are the risks at the moment. It is just as simple as that. At least if you understand and respect the fibs. These are not my opinions. This is what the fibs are telling me. Fibs are saying, big dump, you need to break this, this, and this in order to consider this bullish, because all of these red levels need to break for these to be targets. It's nice seeing that they're there. They are only going to happen if you break those red boxes. If you keep rejecting and going lower from those red boxes, we're never going there. Do you understand? So there's a lot of work to do because the easier path is down. We're seeing, and especially when I show you those altcoins that look super, super strong. How can we go up so violently without dumping? We've come into very key levels of resistance. And even on XRP, there's no more targets. This is a fib from July. There's no more targets. There's nothing. If you now measure future dips, there are targets higher. But this is from December. This is a more macro fib. If we zoom out even more, we do have more targets to the upside. Yes, we do have more targets to the upside, but even that overlaid onto what's going on, you can see currently we've tapped into an even more macro resistance. So meeting the very first targeted area, and it's also a 7-8 year all-time high. We haven't been to these prices in 7-8 years. What happened when Bitcoin bounced from 15k to 70k, the all-time high? What happened? It corrected. It went sideways, but the market capitulated. So why should this be any different? Especially when there's a 2-year-old fib here, all targets done. There's a 4-year-old fib here, first target met. And there's a 7 to 8 year resistance never touched in 7-8 years. How are you expecting that to break through like butter? Simply look at what's occurred since. And then, yeah, compared to H-bar. H-bar didn't make new all-time highs, but it was the strongest one from the bottom, pumping 874% without a dump. So it's just natural. It's not bearish forever, but at least for now, without Bitcoin reclaiming those key levels. So if Bitcoin reclaims those key levels, we can avoid this, but it hasn't at the moment. So that is what should be expected, lower. That's it from me today. I could keep going on forever, and no matter what I say, there's going to be people ignoring or just really not giving a toss about what I've said. There's going to be some people that take it on and try and find it on their charts. It is what it is. Do what you want. I'm just here making a video update because I wanted to. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, if you want further updates, if you want to be the very first to hear from myself, join the Discord community. The links are down below.